Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take a moment and feel this truth deep inside you. The life you've been dreaming of, the person you've been waiting to become, the breakthrough you've been longing for. It all begins this year. Not next year, not tomorrow, not when conditions are perfect. Right here, right now, you have everything you need to rise up and claim what's yours. Every obstacle you faced, every failure that's made you question yourself, every voice that's told you you can't, those are not chains holding you back. They are the sparks that will ignite your power. This year, you will no longer wait for change. You will become the force of change. You will step out of the shadows of doubt and step into the bold, unstoppable version of yourself that has been waiting for this moment. And when you do, everything in your world, your relationships, your health, your career, your purpose will respond to the energy, the belief, and the relentless action that you bring. Today is the beginning, and this year will be your turning point. Embracing personal power is the first and most essential step toward transforming your life because it is the recognition that within you lies an immense reservoir of untapped potential. Too often people look outward for validation, waiting for circumstances, opportunities, or others to give them permission to move forward. But true transformation begins the moment you stop waiting and start understanding that the power to change, to create, to rise above any situation has always been inside you. It is the force that drives innovation, courage, resilience, and the ability to take control of your own destiny. When you tap into this personal power, you no longer feel like a passenger in your own life. You become the driver. Every choice you make, every action you take, and every decision you commit to is fueled by a deep awareness that you are capable of far more than you have ever allowed yourself to believe. Embracing personal power also means taking full responsibility for your life. It means acknowledging that while circumstances, setbacks, and other people can influence you, they do not define you. The moment you internalize this truth, excuses lose their grip, fear begins to shrink, and hesitation gives way to confidence. This power is not about dominance over others. It is about mastery over yourself. Your mind, your emotions, and your actions. It is the realization that your thoughts shape your reality, your beliefs determine your possibilities, and your consistent actions create momentum that propels you forward. When you embrace this inner strength, you cultivate a mindset that sees opportunities instead of obstacles, solutions instead of problems, and growth instead of stagnation. Personal power is also about connection to your purpose, your passions, and your innate strengths. It requires clarity about what you want, courage to pursue it relentlessly, and the discipline to push through discomfort and uncertainty. It fuels perseverance when the journey gets tough, and it ignites creativity when conventional paths seem blocked. More importantly, embracing your personal power allows you to inspire and elevate others. As you step fully into your potential, your energy, confidence, and determination ripple outward, creating a magnetic influence that draws people toward possibility and action. This is the power that turns ordinary moments into extraordinary breakthroughs and transforms hesitation into decisive, life-changing movement. Recognizing your personal power is the foundation for all meaningful change because it shifts your perspective from victimhood to victory, from limitation to expansion, and from doubt to unwavering self-belief. Overcoming fear and limiting beliefs is one of the most crucial steps in transforming your life because these invisible barriers silently dictate your actions, decisions, and the very trajectory of your future. Fear is often disguised as caution, procrastination, or self-doubt, and limiting beliefs appear as the internal voice telling you, I can't, I'm not ready, or this is impossible for me. These mental constructs may have developed over years of experiences, failures, or external conditioning, and they quietly convince you that your potential is capped, that success is reserved for others, and that you are defined by your past. Yet the truth is that fear and limiting beliefs only have the power you give them. The moment you confront them directly, examine their origin, and challenge their validity, you begin to reclaim control over your life. Overcoming fear begins with awareness, noticing when it shows up, identifying the stories it tells, and refusing to let it dictate your choices. It requires the courage to step into discomfort, because growth never happens in the safe zone. Every time you act despite fear, you build a new neural pathway, a new habit, and a stronger belief in your ability to rise above challenges. Similarly, dismantling limiting beliefs involves questioning the assumptions that hold you back. Often these beliefs are not truths but interpretations of past experiences, opinions of others, or societal conditioning. By examining the evidence, reframing your perspective, and replacing limiting thoughts with empowering alternatives, you create a mental environment where possibility replaces doubt. This process is not always easy, and it demands persistence, self-compassion, and a willingness to fail forward. Each attempt to move past fear and limitations strengthens your resilience and reinforces your capacity to take bold action. Furthermore, overcoming these internal barriers transforms your relationship with risk and uncertainty. What once seemed intimidating or impossible now becomes an opportunity to test your strength, expand your comfort zone, and accelerate your growth. As you continue to challenge fear and rewrite limiting beliefs, you unlock creativity, confidence, and clarity that were previously inaccessible. This liberation allows you to approach life with a proactive mindset, seeing challenges as invitations to evolve rather than threats to avoid. When you finally free yourself from the grip of fear and limiting beliefs, you begin to operate from a place of empowerment, clarity, and purpose, and your actions become aligned with the highest version of yourself. Committing to massive action is the defining factor that separates those who dream from those who achieve, because ideas, plans, and intentions alone have no power without execution. Too often, people wait for the perfect moment, the right opportunity, or a sign that conditions are favorable, but the truth is that transformation only happens when you move decisively and relentlessly toward your goals. Massive action is not about sporadic bursts of effort. It is about consistent, focused, and determined action that aligns with your vision and values. It requires abandoning hesitation, overthinking, and the illusion of comfort, and instead embracing the urgency to act, experiment, and iterate until results manifest. Taking massive action also means going beyond your perceived limits, stretching your capabilities, and refusing to settle for mediocrity. It demands discipline, commitment, and the willingness to confront resistance, obstacles, and even failure head-on. Every step you take toward your goal, no matter how small, compounds over time, building momentum that carries you past inertia and fear. Massive action transforms uncertainty into clarity because action generates feedback, learning, and insight that cannot be acquired through planning or reflection alone. It also builds confidence because each time you act, you prove to yourself that you are capable, resourceful, and resilient. This approach is rooted in the understanding that results are not proportional to effort alone, but to the intensity, focus, and audacity of the actions you take. It is about raising your standards for yourself, committing to tasks that matter most, and refusing to be distracted by trivialities or the comfort of the familiar. Massive action also inspires and mobilizes those around you, creating an energy and momentum that attracts opportunities, partnerships, and resources that were previously out of reach. It is the bridge between vision and reality, turning abstract goals into tangible outcomes and transforming aspirations into achievements. Committing to this level of action requires mental clarity, emotional resilience, and the ability to prioritize what will drive the greatest impact, while letting go of what does not serve your ultimate purpose. It challenges you to push past excuses, procrastination, and self-imposed limitations, reinforcing the truth that success is not a matter of luck, but of deliberate, persistent effort. By embracing massive action, you take full responsibility for your life, and you create a trajectory that no circumstance or external factor can derail, because it is powered by your relentless commitment, unwavering focus, and refusal to wait for anyone or anything to give you permission to move forward. Shifting perspective and mindset is one of the most powerful tools for transformation because the way you interpret the world directly shapes your experiences, decisions, and results. Life does not hand out circumstances in neat packages of convenience or fairness, but the meaning you assign to those circumstances determines whether you feel trapped or empowered, defeated, or unstoppable. When you adopt a mindset rooted in growth, possibility, and resilience, challenges become opportunities, setbacks become lessons, and obstacles become stepping stones toward your goals. This shift begins with awareness, recognizing the habitual thoughts and beliefs that limit you, the patterns of negativity or doubt that distort reality, and the internal narratives that keep you small. Once you become conscious of these patterns, you can intentionally reframe them, replacing disempowering interpretations with empowering ones. For example, rather than seeing failure as evidence of inadequacy, you can see it as critical feedback, a guide that shows you what to adjust and how to improve. Instead of viewing uncertainty as a threat, you can perceive it as a space of potential where innovation, creativity, and breakthroughs emerge. Shifting mindset also requires embracing responsibility for your emotional responses, understanding that while you cannot always control external events, you can control how you react to them. By cultivating a mindset of choice, you reclaim power that might otherwise be surrendered to circumstance or opinion. This approach fosters resilience because it allows you to navigate adversity with perspective, learning, and determination rather than panic or despair. Moreover, a powerful mindset shapes your daily behaviors, guiding your actions, priorities, and habits in ways that consistently align with your highest goals. It influences the quality of your decisions, the energy you bring to interactions, and the persistence with which you pursue your vision. Over time, this shift in perspective rewires the brain, creating new patterns of thought that naturally support growth, confidence, and success. It opens your mind to possibilities that previously seemed out of reach and encourages creativity in solving problems that once felt insurmountable. By consciously choosing empowering interpretations, you begin to see abundance where scarcity seemed to exist, opportunity where obstacles appeared, and strength where vulnerability once dominated. This transformation is not instantaneous, but with consistent practice, the way you perceive life evolves, and with it the quality of your results, the depth of your fulfillment, and the magnitude of impact on the world. Visualizing and owning your future is one of the most transformative practices you can adopt because it bridges the gap between your current reality and the life you desire. The human mind is wired to respond to vivid mental images, and when you take the time to clearly imagine the person you want to become, the achievements you want to accomplish, and the impact you want to create, you begin to align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with that vision. Visualization isn't simply daydreaming or wishful thinking. It is a deliberate, focused exercise that programs your subconscious mind to recognize opportunities, make confident decisions, and take actions that are consistent with the future you have imagined. By creating a detailed mental picture of your goals, you activate a powerful internal guidance system that constantly directs your energy toward what matters most. Owning your future means taking full responsibility for it, refusing to blame circumstances, other people, or past mistakes for where you are today. It requires clarity about what you truly want, an unwavering commitment to pursue it relentlessly, and the courage to make difficult choices in alignment with that vision. When you visualize success and step into the mindset of already having achieved it, you generate a sense of certainty and possibility that fuels motivation and persistence even in the face of setbacks. This practice strengthens belief in your own capabilities because your mind begins to internalize the idea that the future you desire is not just possible, but inevitable if you act with intention and consistency. Visualization also enhances creativity, problem solving, and resilience because it allows you to mentally rehearse challenges, anticipate obstacles, and explore solutions before they arise in reality. It creates a mental blueprint that informs your decisions, habits, and interactions, ensuring that every step you take moves you closer to your goals. Owning your future further means embracing accountability, setting clear priorities, and making deliberate choices that reflect the person you intend to become. It requires you to shed doubt, fear, and indecision, replacing them with clarity, focus, and unwavering determination. As you consistently visualize your desired outcomes and align your daily actions with that vision, you build momentum, confidence, and a magnetic energy that attracts opportunities, resources, and people who support your growth. This process empowers you to stop reacting to life and start creating it, to move from being a passive observer of circumstances to becoming the architect of your own destiny, and to recognize that the life you imagine is fully within your reach and capable of being realized through intentional focus, strategic action, and unshakable belief.